Welcome to Classic Game Room. There are those who say you can't judge a book by its cover, but how about a Nintendo game called Shatterhand? Do you dare judge a dude with a metal fist and sunglasses like that? All things considered, that's some really good artwork, and those are some seriously righteous sunglasses. Because the future's so bright, he's gotta punch everything with his giant metal fist. In Shatterhand, a 1991 side-scrolling platformer for the Nintendo Entertainment System. Shatterhand reminds me of Bionic Commando if the Bionic Commando decided for additional challenge to only go into combat with his fist. Your little dude in Shatterhand is seriously badass and shatters waves of enemies with his bare hands, instead of relying on weapons like those pussies in Contra. Although after a while you may find out that those meatheads know what they're doing because some additional firepower really helps in Shatterhand. How about an additional set of hands in the form of a free-floating, punching, shooting robot thing? When you collect 3 of the power-ups, you get Punchy the Robot, or whatever his name is, and there's actually several variations of Punchy. And the more I played Shatterhand, the more I wanted to stay alive so that Punchy would stay alive, because the game is nearly impossible without him. The thing with Shatterhand, and what makes it so challenging, is that you punch all of your enemies, which means that you have an extremely short range, because your arms aren't very long. Fortunately, you're wearing white high tops and your acid-washed jeans are pegged at the bottom. In a way, Sunglasses Dude is hardcore because he could easily pick up any number of weapons from the people that he shatters by punching, but he doesn't. It's not your average NES game, it's Shatterhand! You'll still want Punchy the Robot for backup, although I guess he doesn't really punch, he just shoots, but Punchy's a cool name and it totally represents his love for Hawaiian Punch. In Shatterhand, you play through the first level, which is pretty easy, and then choose the rest of your adventure from these levels, and play through the game like that. Reminds me of Spider-Man and X-Men, a game I reviewed for Sega Genesis. Practice the levels and find the path that works best for you. To be honest, I went into Shatterhand expecting a game to be so cheesy and bad that it would be good and fun to talk about. Instead, I find a game that is actually good and fun to play, as well as being fun to talk about. It looks and sounds a bit generic like any number of other popular 8-bit platformers, but it plays really well. In addition to scoring points, you collect coins that you can spend on health, or a new armored vest, or 1-up. And the level design, while it looks a bit bland, has some surprisingly well-thought-out, challenging enemy attack patterns that always keep you on your fists in Shatterhand. Have you ever played one of these games and actually thought about who built this environment? What is the purpose of that fan and the spikes on the walls? How was it constructed, and what is the functional purpose of this underground, icy, spiked, rather dangerous series of tunnels filled with two-dimensional enemies? It's amazing how these games suspend disbelief so well. Shatterhand was sent to the show by our friend Matt from Glace Bay in Canada. For those of you looking for that cool underground platformer on the Nintendo Entertainment System that not everyone else is playing, may I suggest Shatterhand. Thanks again to Matt, and it's always a good time to pound some enemies into oblivion with your 8-bit fists in Shatterhand.